Good evening. How you feeling tonight? I'm getting sleepy. This is my last thing before I go to bed tonight. I have a question. Internet question today. The question is, who was your first crush? And I've decided to answer this one because it's kind of funny and it ties very closely into events that occurred 30 years ago. Because this girl, we were in the same grade together, so I saw her like a lot growing up in school, kindergarten, first grade, second grade. Like, I lived in a small town as a child, and everyone was basically in school together. Unless you moved out of town, everyone was in the same school, and everyone just saw each other, and everyone knew everyone's name, and you just stayed that way forever until I guess you graduated. So this girl was one I always saw a lot. I remember she had very dark hair. I remember she had a very bright, big smile. And I think before I even knew what crushes were, how attraction worked, I just thought about her a lot. And then I think it was middle school. It would have been middle school around 88, 89, when I would have been, say, physically motivated to say, oh, I like her a lot. I like her a lot. What do I do? What do I do? And I didn't know what to do. All I knew was what media told me to do, which was ask her out. And I'm sure I tried a version of that, which didn't work because she didn't feel that way about me at all. But there was definitely, we had like a friendship thing. So we did go out a couple times, like the two of us, and we spent time together. Even though she made it clear like it wasn't a date, like in my head I was like, this is a date. And it was just, in hindsight, it was the most uncomfortable thing ever, I think, because I remember doing two things. I remember going to the local malt shop. Now, I should stress, when I was a kid in the 80s, there was this really big push for 50s nostalgia. And so we had a shop in town called the Malt Shop. It was a brand new, it had not been there since the 50s. It was relatively new, but it looked like the 50s. And everyone called it the Malt Shop, even though it was just a regular, like, kind of restaurant. You know, they served burgers, they had drinks. It was no big deal. And after a couple of years, it was gone. It just became a regular deli. But yeah, we went to the Malt Shop together once, and while I was talking to her, and of course I was trying to spend time with her, I also couldn't help but notice that the brand new, at the time, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game was in the malt shop. And I'm sorry, whatever my feelings for another human being might be, I was way more interested in the TMNT arcade game because that game was magnificent and eye catching. So I'm sure I played it, and I don't think she had any interest in it whatsoever. But I also remember we went to the movies. And because there was no movie theater in my town, going to the movies meant going to another town nearby. Now, this is 1989, so I have no car, we have no license. If we want to go to a movie theater, that means an adult has to drive us. And it was a rated R movie, which means we had to have an adult take us in. And I'm going to go ahead and assume that my dad did this. Because I don't think my mom might have done this. I think this might have been a dad thing. And we went to see... This is so embarrassing. We went to see The War of the Roses. So here I am, a 13-year-old boy, trying to forge some kind of connection with a 13-year-old girl. And we picked The War of the Roses, a super dark comedy about divorce. Wonderful. What wonderful choices I made as a child. In any case, and I think within a year, my parents would split. So, yeah, it was a crush. I don't know how obvious it was that I had a crush on her. It was very obvious that she did not have a crush on me. We never really dated. I just know that a couple of years after that, one of my friends, I did not have a lot of friends, one of my friends said he liked her and he wanted to go out with her. And that became a big tension between the two of us. It's like, well, I like her. How can you like her? Which is like, she didn't like either of us. It became a stupid fight over nothing. Like, what the fuck was I thinking? What the fuck was anyone thinking? But yeah. Honestly, during that time of my life, I had a lot of crushes on a lot of people. And this is the one that I probably tried the hardest to make something happen. And it's a miracle that I didn't end up doing something incredibly inappropriate. Because as internets go, we're still friends. We're Facebook friends. I see her and her husband spending time together on the Facebook sometimes. She looks extremely happy, which is nice. And I'm sure we had a fun joke about it when I attended my only high school reunion in 2004, which was 15 years ago. In any case, we took some nice pictures together. She's still, as far as I know, she's doing very well. Me, on the other hand, I need to get to sleep. I'm exhausted. So, good night, everybody. I love you.